Question 2 also gives you a short specification. In this question you're being asked to correct coding errors, create meaningful variable names, as well as making small edits and additions to the code to make it fully functional. You'll also get marks in this question for a comment if you look at the second bullet point from the end. And you also get marks for 2 uses of whitespace. As always with this exam, make sure you save your work into the completed or finished directory using the correct file name given to you at the end of each question. Save at the start so that you can go back to the original if you need to. So here we've got question 2, and I've put the question and the answer that I'm going to create side by side. So let's just have a look and together. So we've got our specification. So a programmer has started to write a program, but it doesn't work correctly. The program should ask the user, would you like me to sing? The user then responds yes or no. If the user responds Y, then the computer displays the line of a song. Tells you what to open, and then later on tells you to save it. Now, because this is a question 2, what you want to do is focus on the bullets and try and tackle them one at a time. So make sure your line numbering is on. I'm in Thonny, but you'll be in idle, so you'll need to go and turn your line numbering on in idle. So let's have a look at this together. So fix the syntax error on line 13. Let's have a look at this. Okay, well I can see instantly that if statements need a colon at the end. I would, on your question paper, tick that off. Let's have a look at 15. Looks like there's another syntax error there, and what you can see is Thonny has given me some really strange responses in terms of highlighting stuff. You'll see the same sort of thing in idle, but if I look at it, I can see instantly that I'm missing a bracket there. So that repairs that. In idle it will highlight the closure of the bracket. 17, fix the syntax error on that one. I can see again I'm missing something, so if I look at it, I'm going to put in a speech mark. The next thing says change the identifier X to a more meaningful name. So first of all, we've got to figure out what X means. So if we have a look at it, it says, so we're only using one, we've only got one variable here. Accept the user's input, no validation required. Looks as if X is going to be something to do with is accepting Y. So that must be the user input. So now, one thing about this is I need to change this all the way through the program, and if I use it again, I need to change it and to make sure it has the same thing. So let's make that a bit better. So we want to ask for something like user input. There I'm using camel case. Now I need to make sure that any time I see an X, I put user input in there. So that's bit done, and now it says display a suitable question to the user and accept the user's input of Y or N. Now there are 2 ways to do this. There's doing it in 2 lines, the way that there seems to be happening here, and there are also doing it in 1 line. So let's do it in 2 lines first of all. So I'm going to go print, and what's the suitable question? Well, if you look at it, display a suitable question. Well, this thing always links up to the top here. So it says the program should ask the user, would you like me to sing? So it must be, would you like me to sing? And now it says accept the user's input, no validation required. So what I need to do is I need to store the user input. Now because I'm doing this on 2 lines, I need to do this, like that. There's an alternative that would give me the 2 marks as well. So my alternative could be to do what I suspect many of you will do, which is to go input So that would be your alternative. It's totally up to you which one you go for. I'm just going to pop a comment in there in as a comment so that we're not going to worry too much about that. But that's my alternative there if I needed it. So either of these two or that one would do the same job. It would get me the marks for these 2 points. It now says add a comment to explain the effect of the range function's last parameter set to -1. Okay, well, looking at it, it's going for num in range. It starts at 5 and it goes -1. -1. Now, if I wasn't sure, I could look at the PLC, and what that would tell me is that range can go in different steps. In this case, the step function is here and it's going in -1, so it's going 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, and each time what it's doing is it's reducing it by -1. So we need to put a comment in to explain that. So last parameter reduces num by 1 each time, e.g. 5, 4, 3, like that. Okay, so I can tick off that add a comment, and now it says add 2 uses of white space to aid readability. Now, there's a couple of ways to do white space. The one way is to make sure that none of these things are squished up like that. So you might find that in your question that you might get that they might have deliberately put that in, but I'm going to make sure that's not squished up. I'm also going to give myself a little bit of area there, so I've got a bit of blank lines there just to space it out a little bit. I'm happy with that, although I could put that there, because one of the things about white space is that if you put things together in blocks, that makes life a little bit easier. So let's have a look at this. Let's see if we can make this a bit better. And that's, there you go. And it says add 2 uses of white space, and I've done that. So I've created white space, and I've created it fairly logically. I've blocked things together, made sure that things are spread out. If I really wanted to, I could put a space there